quality and food fraud, and the mitigation. That was a much more important thing. And in this session, we try to include the technologies, the presently which are going on, and how the future could be benefited from these techniques, and what is the significance of these techniques actually, right, which are currently going on. So let us begin the session. And as all you are told that for any of your queries, please mention in the chat box. I think you are very much familiar with the system. Let us go to meeting. So let us start. So there is a title that food quality, safety, and fraud, and understand the mitigation, right? So the very first thing that comes to our mind, or I would say that you should think on, that what is quality, what is safety, and if we speak of the fraud, what it is, how it is related. Are they related or they can be distinguished? And if they are related, how they have to be studied, they have to be controlled and mitigate. And what are the different factors that distinguish those three, right? So in the root of all these, there is a trust. Trust is, as you can see, the lady is asking, you don't use chemicals, do you? So it all depends whether that fellow says yes or no, right? So this is the trust. Trust is like that. We boarded any public conveyance, we boarded the train, we boarded airplane, we boarded the city bus. We don't ask for the license, we don't ask for the driving skills of the driver, right? This is the trust we have on that fellow. So trust, it is something like that. It can't be measurable. Every time it can't be presentable. Yes, it is there at the back of the mind, right? It is, and same is with the food. So when we speak of food, we need the quality, we need the safety, and we want there should not be any fraud on us. So all these things, when we speak of or when we think of, yes, we are getting the right thing. It is that trust on that particular brand or on that particular food, right? Now, what is quality, what is safety, and what is fraud? So I have seen there are so many students are there, and participants are from the industry as well, and academic institutes also. So when we speak of the quality, it is something like that that gives me a satisfaction, right? This is a quality product, this is a quality shirt, this is a quality road, this is a quality services, this is a quality training. So when we speak of quality, it means there's a sign, there is some kind of senses, there's some kind of understanding that I will get the product which I am expecting. You are spending 2 hours, you have dedicated your 2 hours for this particular session. So you want something quality from that. Some quality may be different for different people. So you have the different attributes as we have discussed about the quality, right? So quality, when we speak of, it is some kind of satisfaction. If you are satisfied, it is quality. If you have spent 2 hours and you are getting the worth of 2 hours, then you have said, okay, we have the quality webinar today. But when we speak of safety, it is something that which is not going to harm me. Okay, so simply speaking, if we are speaking of the webinar, if you're not getting the quality, it is not like that it will be unsafe for you, it may going to harm you, right? So whenever you speak of safety, let us say safe journey, road safety, fire safety, anything when the safety word comes, it means that system, that activity, that product is not going to harm me. It may be a it may be a vehicle, it may be a food, it may be any product you can think of. Okay, if it is safe, it means it is not going to harm you. So that is the food safety. When we speak of the food safety, it means that food is not going to harm me. That food is not going to injure me, make me ill, right? So that's why an act is being this enacted in the year 2006, that is Food Safety and Standards Act. So safety comes always the first, because as you can see in the pandemic also, we are looking for the safety. We don't want to get ill. So that is the major thing you can see. Okay, if we are not safe, then there may be a huge losses. Health loss may be there, economic loss may be there, unemployment may be there, loss to the industry will be there, to the tourism will be there, right? So it is similar with the food. So that is why the food safety is now at the hot topic. Now the upcoming thing is the fraud. Fraud is something like that, a creation, or I think taking the benefit of the trust. Okay, so you are trusting some brand, you are trusting some product, but it is not delivering what you are expecting, or even it is not in your known. For example, the latest is about the honey, right? Let us see honey. What is there in the honey? So it is now recently examined that on the analysis of the various samples, that the syrup is being mixed in the honey, which complies to the all the tests which are there as per the regulatory requirements, but that syrup is not honey. Actually, it is a synthetic material, and that product is so much similar to the honey that even the experts can't say that, okay, experts views that, okay, we are getting the honey, or in normal testing methods, normal I would say the presently active testing methods, it passes all the test. So fraud, it is something like that. It may be harmful, it may not be harmful, but it is going to play a game. Let us say we are getting something. Okay, some production says that, okay, we are producing 10 metric ton or 100,000 metric ton of a produce, but on ground realities it is not possible that the production is of such a volume. So it means there is some kind of artificial synthetic something is there, that may be harmful, that may not be harmful. As we can see in case of honey, it is there. In case of milk, it is also there. As you can see, if you can read Hindi, so this is just depicting that, okay, a cow is seeing a person who is making a milk, a synthetic milk, right? So this is a brief about what is the quality, what the safety means, and what is food fraud. So food fraud is not being defined specifically in any regulation, in any standard. You can see the definition of the food safety, but not the food fraud. It not a standardized definition, right? So it covers the entire activities. That is not true. That is not true is a fraud. So for the first thing we have to do is we need to understand the three terminologies, that is quality, then what is safety, and thereafter what is about the food fraud. You will be able to distinguish in between the three terminologies. One thing I would like to share is that it is quite possible that in quality there may be the attributes for the safety and fraud also, right? So in the context of learning, in the context of understanding, I would say these three are different things, but yes, for the sake of making the things ease out, we can cover all this in the quality as a attributes of, as a different attributes of the quality. Now, the today's attention is more on prevention and mitigation. Prevention and mitigation of fraud, the safety, and how we can achieve the quality, the best quality product, right? So first, there's a word prevention, and the another word is the mitigation. Also, we need to understand when we speak of the prevention, what the prevention actually is. As you have seen in the pandemic, it is all we say that prevention from COVID-19, right? Prevention, what it is actually. We have learned in our academics also, in our day-to-day life, and in our industry if it is there, preventive measures. So what does prevention means? Prevention is those activities which is being done prior to the activities, okay, in order to understand how to control, what are the measures that is to be taken, so that if anything goes wrong, it can be taken care of well in advance. Once the things get wrong or we don't getting the what we are expecting, then we have to take the control, then we have to take the charge, what to do now, right? So prevention, when we speak of, it starts from the beginning. As far as my experience is concerned with the food safety and food quality, I say that it is not a that thing which can be controlled effectively with any regulations, with punishments, with penalties. Though they are there, they have to be there, okay. But the very first thing I understand is the awareness. Awareness, you can say education, or these are the different terminologies when we speak of the you can say the prevention. It means it is start with the beginning, it's begin with the education, it's begin with the understanding, it's begin with the morality. If someone is there who is not willing to do the wrong things, okay, it is that fellow's morality. There may be some person, yes, who is not aware of that that act, any act of his or her may going to affect the other persons badly. They can be made aware of by letting them understand the impact of their doings, right? So if we speak of the prevention, I understand that if we need to prevent the food or anything from fraud, if we want to deliver the safe, if we want to have a good quality healthy product, right, then there should be some moral values, and those moral values should begin from the school. So I write a word here, that is naitik mulya, okay. And I also like to quote one example. As you can see, there is a vast difference, cultural difference, and also the quality which is being served, which is being delivered in Japan, and that is in India. So why that difference is there? Because of the cultural value, because of the teachings, because of the education that starts from the beginning. How it is? From the very first class they will be they 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 are being teach for the cleanliness, that being teach for the hygiene conditions, right? So it becomes their culture to be clean, to be hygiene, and we are still facing a challenge in this. If I think you have gone through the schedule 4, if you are aware of that, the only thing that we have mentioned is the hygienic and sanitary practices. Similarly, for the control of COVID pandemic, we are focusing on hygienic atmosphere, hygienic requirements, right? So what I feel, if we have to take care of even fraud or the safety or quality, and I am speaking of the whole ecosystem, okay? It is not any specialized thing that is related to the food, but yes, it is in the society as a whole. The first thing is that we have to start from the schooling, right? To develop the moral values of the child. And it is from the family also, because they are the good institutions, primary institutes for the development of a character. First thing. Second is that comes consumer awareness or customer awareness, we can say, and also the awareness of the food business operator, right? And any person who is doing the food businesses. It is quite possible that when we speak of the education or when we speak of the awareness, that fellow is not aware of what he is doing and what are the implications, right? But once that fellow understand what are the implications and how he could be effective in taking care of that, it is quite possible that that person may take care of the things. This is the first. And second, how the control can be there, they may be able to understand, yes, apart from this, these are the various methodologies that you can verify that the product you are procuring, you are selling is good. Here I would like to share one example. The example was based on our experience with the shopkeepers, the retailers, the local retailers, to which we have delivered the food safety trainings, that is FOSTEC, as per the FSSAI norms. So what we feel, every retailer is in a view that, okay, I am going to sell a tagged product. I am not a manufacturer. I am not a cook. So why the safety is for me? Why the this training is for me? So there is no use of this particular awareness for me, right? They say that, okay, they don't want any of their client, any of their customer to get ill. It is their duty, okay, and morally they don't want to do it, but they don't know in their practices there are few things that are going to harm the consumer. For example, every ev- every retailer to whom we have interacted accepted that accepted that they are facing the problem with the rodents, right? And they are not going to sell the products which are being damaged or destroyed by the rodents. Hence, they are protecting the health of their consumer. But they are not aware of there are so many items in their shop in which on which the excreta of the rodent could be there, and they are not aware of. So from here we got the idea that okay, these shopkeepers, they don't want to they don't want to be their customers ill, but they are unaware of that. Because of the rodents, they are creating some kind of you can say unsafety in the system. Okay, so they have to be make aware of that. Similarly, if they are not the primary education, yes, they can similarly, they can be made aware of by these particular kind of training. So this is the prevention which we can do. Similarly, uh, they want to analyze the things. They have the some kind of experience, expertise in analyzing the sample just by touching, seeing, smelling. So many things are there, but still they will not confident on that. So we have to give some understanding about the testing of the samples so that they can deliver the results effectively. So this is the first part of the prevention. I would say this is the portion of the prevention which I feel is a must. That is the education, that is the awareness, right? Along with some simple scientific methodologies that could be easily understandable at the ground level. And if for specifically for the students, I would say, as you are learning the food technology, you are learning the different subjects, you will see a big change, or I would say the difference what you have learned and what is being followed in the industry. There's a big gap. Okay. And the effective, your education, your understanding will be effective if you get it related to the ground realities and do solutions at that level. This is one thing. Now second is that if the things are going on, then we have to go for the mitigation. And mitigation, there may be different attributes, different parameters for that: regulations, penalty, punishment, blacklisting, publicizing the things. Okay, for example, regulations are there, and sometimes FBOs or food business operators, they hardly uh, follow the regulations, not in that sense, not in the terms of the compliance. Yes, they are compliance, but on ground realities, on practical realities. First thing, again comes the understanding. They may don't have that kind of understanding. Second comes the penalty. It is observed that they are earning so much of good amount by doing adulteration or something like that, that penalty is nothing for them. Okay, they say okay, okay, no, not an issue. 550,000 will be the fine. Okay, not an issue. We will pay the fine, and again they will continue within their malpractices. Right? It is those. It is the actually I would say that this is the activities we have seen, we have observed. Again, the punishment. The people who are into this system, they are very smart. They know how to skip the punishment, or the threat of the punishment or the fear of the punishment is not as much as that could trade off their commercial benefits, right? Yes, the thing which can be done is the blacklisting of those manufacturers, those retailers, those shopkeepers, those food business operators whose product is being repeatedly doing publicized widely so that the consumer or the market could be aware of that bad things. So this is again I would say market is a consumer oriented. Okay, and making the consumer much more aware will help us in this regard. But regulations still should be there, so that, and it should be more and more stringent, so that there a fear of penalty and punishment should be in the mind of the fraud setters. Second, uh, just I have gone through the one technology, okay, recently. So it's a the concept comes in the year 2010, and in 2017 I first came to know about this technology, and recently I have some better understanding as compared to the 2017. That is a blockchain, and I think it is a very good effective technique which can help in mitigating all these aspects, quality, safety, and fraud, in a single go. Okay, and yesterday also I am just giving a thought to this, and I see that there are still chances of doing the hacking in this system also. So that we will discuss in the last, what is a blockchain. And I think if you are aware of, it will be good to you that you keep on learning these things. What are the new updated technologies that are there for the mitigation of food safety, food fraud, and how the quality can be improved. So as I'm speaking of the awareness, as you can see, yes, the server, the person, the caterer who also don't want to get the people ill, but and the customer as well, they don't want, they are not aware of that the food which they are having can make them ill. So it is again that we have seen that these kind of cases are also there. Okay, the server, the person who is giving the service, and the consumer, they both are unaware of the system. So awareness is one kind of thing that needs to be created, how to judge the things. Second is that, yes, sometimes the people who are doing the things, their conscience doesn't allow. Okay, and just to boost up that consciousness, we have to make them aware about the implications of the activities which they are doing for the sake of few funds, for the sake of money, for the sake of the benefit. And I think, personally think, it is a very difficult task to make them understand. The best thing is the primary education, because in this pandemic also we have seen there are so many people who try to make money and makes money by selling the substandard oxygen concentrators, fake vaccines, right? So our society, our system is full of such persons, that we have to, whenever we have to design the mitigation, we have to consider these facts also. These are ground realities actually. So here I'm speaking of, as I have given you the examples of the food business operators. Yes, commercial benefits are always associated with anything, right? And if it is there, if earth is there, earth means finance, funds are there associated with the activities, it will be much more fruitful. So this is the awareness that should be linked with the benefit. Okay, if I'm going to teach you something that is of no use to you, that is of no commercial benefit to you, you will pay little attention, maybe. Okay, it is not always right, but yes, if commercial attention is there, commercial benefit is there, okay, if it is being linked with some benefits to you, maybe the certificate, maybe the awards, maybe the uh, any kind of reward, okay, then it has some deep impact. So this is what I want to say with showing some pictures. As I told you about the rodents, right? When these shopkeepers will make aware of the impact of rodents in their shop and what the benefits they can draw, okay, the losses, for example, let us say we take told them, okay, how much of losses a rodent makes to your shop? Maybe 10 rupees, 20 rupees per day. Then what is the annual cost, annual loss? This is the minimum I would say. Okay, so the annual cost comes out to be 10,000 rupees. So why don't go for a system which is just one third of that cost and have some impact on that, and that is not going to acquire any good space or doing anything something like that. So this is following this. I would say they are develop their own understanding. In industry there is a one word we use frequently, that is best practices. What the best you can do? It means when we speak of the best, how we have to apply our brain, right? So in very first picture you can see here, this is a retail outlet. Okay, just after the shutter, inside the shop, I would say it's hardly a space of 3 to 4 inches inside the shop. That fellow covered the entire entrance with a frame so that the rodents can be controlled. And it is very effective. When we visit their shop, they say that they are not facing any issue with the rodents, and the only entrance is the one, which is again there's some kind of barrier is there, okay, to the rodents. Similarly, these are the shopkeepers adjacent to that, following and seeing the benefits which is being there in that particular shop. They also do the same kind of framing, and this one which is into the process, right? So just saying that it creating an awareness is a very, not, I would say it is not a significant effect, but whenever awareness is linked with the benefits, it gives us significant results. And again, you can see if rodents are not there, their food is safe. There is food, their items are safe to consume. This is the second thing what they have did, and without any additional cost, they just put all the eatable items above ground, not directly on the ground, and they are delivering. They are actually getting the commercial benefits also. Their losses reduces. Their losses reduces. Consumers' health is not going to suffer. Also, how it is to be done, once the training is done or the awareness is to be done, it is always effective to give some kind of reward so that the fellow can proudly say, okay, this is what I am getting. And it is very much important to make them understand, okay, doing this, you have done this, now make it is a more profitable, make it is a in make it as your advertisement, right? Then it will show your customers, okay, that you are such an experience, you are such a renowned person. It is how you have to present yourself. So simply this is a food safety display board which is to be there at every shop. But yes, what we have done, oh sorry, what this fellow has done, this fellow framed it. It is not mentioned in the act that you have to frame it. Okay, act says it should be displayed prominently. But see, the thought process of that fellow, it makes it it makes it more appealable. Similarly, with this license bearer, registration bearer, and this certificate bearer. Okay, so all this what they have, they frame it and post it at their shop as their advertisement. Moving to the next, so this is I am going to show up. You okay? Now see, this is the another picture of street hawker. He is doing the same kind of activity. So my point is, whenever we have to do communication, it is not just a communication. It is not just a say way of saying the things. It is to make the fellow to whom we are going to communicate to do the things, but it is to be done. So that fellow, say you can see the simple street hawker, and he is placing this framed certificate at his this card so that it can increases its business. And I would like to share one experience. In Himachal Pradesh, we have seen some foreigners eating momos at some places at street food. Okay, because after training, they go for this entire setup with apron, cap, face mask, everything is there. Okay, this is I am speaking of the pre-COVID, during which period the face mask is not mandatory. But this is how we have to make the system effective, working on the ground realities, making awareness that could be beneficial for the system. Apart from this, now there are various dimensions and technologies which could be helpful in delivering. Now, see what they are. If we speak of the quality, we have various techniques for the analysis of the products. Okay, we have various systems, QA, QC, protocols, regulations, standards. But are they really going to work? Yes, but up to a certain level, because there are so many barriers to this, and the effectiveness is not as much as there there as much as there that should be. I would just like to share one example here. It is a very it's a 10 years back. Okay, there was a sample from a five-star hotel. The sample was of a green chutney, and it is being sent for the regulatory compliance for some laboratory, and that sample test positive for salmonella. Okay, so because that was a big organization, a reputed five-star property, the laboratory person, before releasing the report, just get back to the manager, the hygiene manager of the property. What the hygiene manager says that this sample was being sent to you 2 days back. Okay, because you, if you are into the microbiologist or you are into that testing, you are aware of that a result usually take 3 to 4 days. Okay, and we are getting a positive result today. What the language is, अभी तो वो सब खा खू के पचा भी चुके, right? Everybody has consumed that chutney and digested well the report of which we are getting a positive. So what the conclusion is, what the conclusion of that story, that the time gap which has to be reduced is not there. So there's a gap, quality is there, analysis is there, everything is perfect, but yes, here we need to reduce the time. Also, it is quite possible that the manager shouldn't get any response, any reply of ill health. It may be there, but that is not the case. What we are going to focus here is that here there is the need of our, that how we can make it the system more effective. Though QA is there, QC is there, so then comes the rapid testing analysis. Now, if you're aware of FSSA, there is one regulation on it. I think that is come later on. Okay, so this is one thing. Another is that we need to make a new designs for food safety, not the conventional ones. Okay, that is to be in line with the upcoming technologies. Similarly, with new product development, whenever we develop a new product, if you are into this research and R&D, the objective is the business, right? And that business is comes with the responsibility. Okay, if someone is going to manufacture a new product, let's say, okay, I will want to make a new product that is healthy for a person. It means that thought process of that entrepreneur, that healthy product, right? It is comes with some sense of responsibility towards the society. That okay, I want to give some healthy product, right? So this is the one thing that we can work on. Digitalization again, I would say it's a form of technology that ease out the things, make the things much more feasible. Okay, and time consuming is also less. This is the one dimension also. And as I discussed with you, I'm very much going into this process, what the food chain, how the traceability will work with the food blockchain. So you have just go through that. I would say it is a game changer. It will be a game changer in near future. So this is what I feel. If we speak of the mitigation, the various dimensions of it could be there. It those dimensions should be associated with the latest technologies to have a more effective system. As I'm telling you, rapid sample analysis. Yes, the regulations are there. There's an amendment in the Food Safety and Standards Laboratory and Sample Analysis. In the section 2.4, it is about the approval of rapid analytical food testing kit equipments or method. So this is an addition in the section under this regulation. Why it is so? Again, I would say I have started my career with Shriram Institute for Industrial Research. I think most of the people, if you are aware of, right? And that test, there's a lot of sample testing we used to do there. Most of the time, we get the repeated samples. Okay, so after having the repeated samples, we see that there could be some techniques which can bypass a good amount of time, right? And those techniques are effective. Effective means it is not like that they are just hit and trial techniques. Those techniques are such an effective that even they can save the time and they give the results beautiful. Not in terms of the quantitative, yes, qualitative, it is there. And also there are few techniques in which we get the quantitative results also, that is plus minus with a tolerance of plus minus 5%, within 5%, right? But the issue is that who is going to approve those techniques, right? Because we are not the institute. We are working at the Shriram Institute. I am not the institute. Our team is not the institute. There must be some organizations who can validate those techniques and make it more effective for the food processing industries or for the sample analysis or for the stakeholders straight away, I would say, right? Here comes the technology. In last few years, there is a very good amount of rapid analytical kits in the market. They have the effective, they are the result oriented, and now the regulator of India, Food Safety and Standard Authority, they comes into the picture and they are going to approve all these testing kits. And for the students and for the industrialists who are not aware of, I would say that you must visit some sites, and if you are actually, you must visit the FSSAI site also. Okay, so if you Google FSSAI, then there is some various topics are there. For there you have to go for the food testing. In food testing you will find rapid sample analysis. Okay, rapid analytical food testing kit, that is RAFT. In that you can see there are numerous instruments, techniques, kits that are being procured by FSSA for the rapid analysis. One thing I would like to share that will be quite effective if you are into the industry, and also in this pandemic we have gone through the various disinfectants, right? Even sanitizers, and we are into a very good practice of sanitizing our hands and having the food without any validation. How to make sure that what the disinfectant we are using and what the sanitizer we are using is going to be effective? I'm doing a food processing. Before the processing, I just sanitized my whole working desk, okay, with some branded product as per the applicable SOP. But doing this makes me sure that the surface gets sanitized. Had we do the right, just a moment, please. Yes, uh, we can't say. But what we have to do, there is some equipment that is ATP. If we are going for the swab analysis, it will take usually 2 to 3 days for the results to come. Okay, and this through this ATP technique, we can get the results within 10 to 15 seconds regarding the contamination of the surface with microbes. So that instrument comes with a brush kind of structure. Okay, there's a probe. What we have to do, we have to rub the surface 10 centimeter longitude, 10 centimeter latitude, okay, horizontally and vertically. Then put that swab in the electrical equipment. Okay, then there's equipments give some kind of senses the photo, senses the this light. It's a photo sensor base, and from that the intensity of the light we came to know the level of contamination. That is to within the 10 to 15 seconds. So it is again a productive equipment rather than going for the analysis. So here what we have to do, the closer we will move to the technologies, okay, the more we are incorporating the technologies into the system so that it could be effective on ground, that could be beneficial for the mitigation of these kinds of practices. If you get the result, instant results, then you can control the thing. Okay, going back to the case of that private property, the big property, five-star property. If the lab persons were able to detect at the moment within 5 minutes or 10 minutes before serving, okay, okay, uh, this product is okay, or this product is contaminated, then it is there that fellow is that particular property is not going to serve that particular food to the guest, right? So this is a benefit we can have. We have to go for that. And also there are few rapid techniques, though they are well adopted, but yes, we can say I think there's no such kind of this the kind of approval is required. The scientific methods are there. These are the all these all are the scientific methods, but they need some kind of standardization. There needs to be some kind of approval. So here the rapid analysis of the milk, instant analysis of the milk is there. Now, why this slide is there, technology? Because whenever we use the technology, it should be as easy as possible so that an illiterate milkman can use that kit. It should not be so much complicated. Few tests are there, okay, in which you need an expertise, you need an understanding of the laboratory, you need the understanding of the how to distinguish the colors also. So that techniques should be there that incorporate the ground realities. For example, adaptability. See the adaptability. Once the Facebook is there, okay, which is being rapidly outdated by the WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is such a handy application rather than the Facebook. So it becomes popular. Similarly, others are also there. Viber, Signal, Telegram. So all these technologies are there, okay. But that is more user friendly will be adopted widely. And then I'm telling of the quality, speaking of the quality, rapid analytical test kits, those kits should not be that they may give the results instantaneously, okay, within a few seconds, minutes, but their technique should be user friendly for that, for those kits to be popular or any technology to be popular. Now another things that is there is the new product development, right? New product development, as I speak of, that whenever we develop a new product, as a business person, what comes to our mind, okay, that product should be successful in the market, right? Okay, that product should be successful in the market, and for that we have to study the market. What is the requirement of the market? Market wants a safe food, market wants a quality food. If the fraud is not there, market will accept it, right? So let us say if I take the example of honey, it is being said that okay, honey is not a new product development, but example is there because initially we took the example of honey, that we market it as honey from okay, there are two kinds of honey. Let us say the farming, where it is produced by the farming, and that is non-farming. Non-farming means forest produce. Forest produce means that is a product of the forest at which there is no any beekeeping, okay, and if no beekeeping is there, then antimicrobial residues, the chances of antimicrobial residues are also not there, because bees are not being fed on those flowers uh, on which there is any kind of spray is there, okay. Similarly, it is with the new product development. When we develop a product, we think of okay, we should not use the preservatives, we should not go for some kind of unhygienic practices, unhygienic packaging, right? And also what we have think of to have sustainable development, that the product which is being developed, if it is sustainable environmentally, okay, then it will be sustainable in society as well. Otherwise, what is going to happen with most of the new products, we develop the products but they can't go for a long run. There will be multiple factors for that. It is quite possible that the development of that product may go for exploitation at such a level, okay, that it can't continue for a long. So there may be various factors. What the point is, we have to focus on that. Yes, if we have to prevent the things, if we have to take action on these activities, then while developing the product, various factors needs to be considered, and this could be one of the very effective tool for the control, for the mitigation. Then here also comes the, during the new product development, here also comes the techniques, that is early management approach, right? Early management approach of new product development, it covers different aspects. You can say, if I say that new product development is a trunk of a tree, then these early management approaches are the branches, right? And what you want to give to the society and what is expectation of the society should be covered in this particular approach. Here I would like to share one example of the Japan. What is the basic difference that we get the quality there and we are not getting the quality there here, is that we actually are the cost oriented person and they are quality oriented, right? This is the basic difference. So still speaking a lot of quality, lot of safety, lot of food fraud, we are not able to deal with, because cost, there's something at the back of mind, our mind is the cost, the price, the money, the greediness, you can say. Okay, so this factor needs to be taken care of while planning a product, so that as a business person you can draw the profit not at the expense of quality, but yes, with delivering such a product which builds a trust of the consumer on my produce. One example I would like to share here is, we are also into the new product development, right? And in few of the cases what we have seen, startups comes to us that we want to develop a product, we don't want to use the preservatives, we don't want to use the stabilizers or no chemicals, right? Straight away we have the raw material, we want to process it and we want to deliver it to the consumer. Now it varies from the product to product. If you don't want to go for the preservatives, yes, techniques are there, but that are the costliest techniques. Okay, so the product cost will rise. Let's say it may be of 15 rupees, anything, but the competitor product is of 10 rupees, right? The fellow comes with a concept, okay, I want to give society that should not contain the preservative, that should not contain any chemicals. Production starts, everything is there, but the concept is very beautiful, but market forces makes the fellow get back to the practices which is in their, which is are there into a system, so that that fellow can compete with the competitors. The ground reality is that product is there without any preservatives, but consumers, rarely consumers want to pay 5 rupees more for that, right? So this approach, this we have to consider while developing the things. Another important thing which we were lacking, and I would say it is the most important thing, the documentation part. We do the things, we do some kind of observations in our system, okay, but we are not in the habit of making the records, we are not in the habit of making note it down, right? That's why we are not able to keep ourselves updated. Documentation plays a very big, very important role. Anything you know, just saying you, not on the food or anything else, any prayer, okay, you know, any prayer, just try to document it, but do it Do write it. Okay, you will see while writing there are so many things which is being written wrongly. Here comes the documentation. When we do the documentation, then we will able to understand the things more deeply in a more effective manner, right? Okay, so this is the my understanding, and actually this is what I am writing, and it is effective in making the protocols. Well, while you make the protocols, your own understanding will be effective, and it will help you in your progress. This is what I show you in the later slides, how the documentation making the data is going to help you. And that is what I said, that digitalization, we also use the word, one word we use the digitalization. This digitalization is going to link with the latest technologies, and your documentation, your the document, the details which you are preparing, the details which you are mentioning, you are writing, will help you in keep you updating. Okay, so what kind of documentation should be there? It may be SOPs, it may be anything QA, QCs, your product processing, your any activity, grain drying, storage, infestation, whatever you are doing, try to make the records for that document, try to make the documents for that. If even if you are doing the screening, temperature screening, thermal screening, okay, make a document when the thermometer is being calibrated, how it is to be taken, what should be the distance between the person who is taking, what should be the ambient conditions, right? All these, when you come do the documentation, you make the protocols. Somewhere we are refining ourselves, we are refining our understanding. Now this blockchain technology is being linked to that with the previous slide, that is the documentation. First, just a brief about what is blockchain. Okay, see this block is a one set of information, a documentation, and this is another set of documentation, or this is another, and they are linked with each other. Or in other words, I would say this block is available, this block is for the farmer, this block is for the manufacturer, and this block is for the market, for the distributor, for the consumer. Everyone puts his information in this particular block, right? And they are all linked with some kind of chain, and this information which is being there in the blocks, in these blocks, is visible to all of them person, all of those persons who are into the network. So there's a kind of networking, there's a kind of decentralization. Okay, it means any information is not limited to this particular manufacturer, it is being distributed, it is being shared with among the farmers and among the consumers as well. And this will be effective and only if we are into the practice of documenting the things, if we are able to present what the our product is, what the techniques it is there, so whatever the information is required, okay, what the information customer is required, consumer is required, you will be able to know, because that fellow has put his information in that particular system. uh, I will not get that detail into this blockchain because still I am into the learning process, but what I acquired is that it is a philosophy. So philosophy of decentralization. Okay, how we take it as at this level. Let us say there's a company who is going to prepare a food safety management system, or there's a food safety management system of a company. What we have seen that it becomes the liability of a single entity, single person, food safety team leader, to prepare that FSMS or to design that FSMS. We need to decentralize it. Okay, at every stage, at every single operator. we need to ask the operator what that fellow's understanding about the food safety and what that fellow is doing for achieving that. Simple. Okay. So this gives a sense of kind of responsibility for him. Similarly, with every unit, let us say every block of the system, we should gather the information. Okay. So the information which is being shared by that fellow to the peer group, they will understand, okay, this is the limitation, this is the activities which that fellow is doing. And if anything goes wrong, because that information is into the system, the other fields be able to control it. So this is a benefit of decentralization. That fellow is equally responsible, and others can also have a watch on that. So what it becomes? It becomes a system. Now it is not an individual activity. The entire FSMS is not an individual activity. It becomes a system. And when it becomes a system, okay, systems, any systems have the capability to kick off the odd one out, right? So it will be much more effective way of controlling or making a food safety management system. I'm just relating it with blockchain technology because this is a decentralized one and it is also based on the techniques, right? Let us say if we have to communicate, for that communication we just make a group, WhatsApp group. Okay, ठीक है. This is our employees group. So anything that needs to communicate it with a single click, it is being communicated to the every person in the system. And if anything we need to modify or something is there, we need to get it corrected, it is to be corrected instantaneously. That could be done through phones to the emails, but it will take the time, right? So using the technology, what we have done, we have accelerated the system, right? We reduces the time. So I see this particular technology is an enhancement, acceleration and optimization of the system. If it is not there, it is not like that that things will not be there, but yes, since using this technology we can enhance our system, we can accelerate the things, and we can do the optimization because in this system we are not rely on a single brain, yes, but on a multiple brains. Again, this is that. Now another word is there, hyperledger blockchain. So this I will leave up to you because I told you that recently I have going to study on this. So please go through this. This is a very effective thing. Maybe down the line 5 to 10 years or by 2030 it will be everywhere into the system. As today we are discussing HACCP, right? VASAP, vulnerability assessment, critical control points. So down the line, 5 to 10 years, this will be everywhere in our uh, food system, food ecosystem, or rather, I would say the food safety ecosystem. Lastly, I would like to quote a statement by Paul Buck of Nestle. He's a chairperson of the Nestle. He says that if something is not given a value, people tend to waste it. It is a normal psychology. If you are being charged, then you see, okay, this is a beautiful thing. Then you will pay the value for that. If it is not being charged, you don't pay value. We waste it. Second is water is our most resourceful use, most useful resource, but those using it often don't even cover the cost of its infrastructure. Fresh water is being massively overused at nature's expense, but it seems only a global crisis which make us realize the importance of the issue. And we don't have to go very far. We have seen the scarcity of the oxygen during this pandemic, and how I would see it as, maybe most of you, that it is a alert which is being issued by the nature time to time, and we have to be very careful. We have to understand the indications and we prepare ourselves. In the last line of this quote, what he says, that what is environmentally unsustainable today will become socially unsustainable in future. So I would like to say that whatever position you are holding, whatever activity you are doing, have a holistic approach. Try to understand the impact of that activity on the quality and on the safety, and whether it is going it is going to affect the trust or not, right? Another view of this is that I would like to share one example with this is that there was a shopkeeper, there was a person who is making some dishes, sweets, and while going for the analytical part, okay, scientific part, I would say, the crunch is that the water they are using is not in line with ISO 10500, right? That is one thing. Another, what that fellow told me, that the sweets which is being served to the customer, the similar sweets is being consumed by me and my family. So this is the way I take care of the quality, right? So whatever activity you do, please take that, whether if you are a consumer of that activity, are you going to consume that? That is the thing. And lastly, just a moment. This is what I am saying. Want to say that you yourself are consumer of your product, right? So if you are protected, consumer will definitely be protected. So this is the last slide.
Thank you so much for this relevant and insightful session, sir.